Alright, should be good. So as we get into this, I'll be looking for a few things. It's going to be defensively, are we coming from the center, and when we have the time, are we making good clears? Offensively, when we have time, are we making good angles and good shots? And what's our spacing like offensively? And are we going for good challenges or bad challenges? So, let's see. This is a good clear. So this spacing's a little bad right now because you guys are nearly parallel. So as we're going up with this ball, you want this, Kef, you're fine, Kefros, Kefiros, and Kepalos, you want to be back here supporting him because the most important ball to get is the one that he misses, or that if he gets beat or he gets challenged, we want to be able to cover that and put it back into play. If you're in this position, you can still react offensively. But if you draw like a cone in front of your card the way you're facing, you're saying, I can only play a ball that's in this area, and if the ball's coming here, you can't get as good of a shot because you have to go out before you can go in. If you're back here and the ball spits out, well, now you can approach it at a really good angle going right towards the net. And notice how this pass, from this angle, we can't get the challenge that we want because this challenge goes back to the outside, which is okay, but we're still under a lot of pressure. Now, if we just would have changed it and we've been back here, I actually would have let them hit that ball because it's just a bad pass. And we have to be able to recognize a good pass and a bad pass. So from this angle, he's got that covered. It's a bad pass. It's fine. I would actually let Ibor hit this ball. And if he hits it into this corner like he was gonna, well, it would come right back to me. And then you could have a better chance on net. So sometimes it's worth it not to go for the first challenge, but rather go for the second ball, the ball that the defense has played. Because we want to avoid the situation where we don't have good control and we're both caught in front of the ball. Like right here, we're both caught having to come back towards our net. We should always have at least one person rounding out their approach coming towards this ball. That's easy, that's really good. So this is better. I want to see this type of rotation that is coming from this ball. So notice how we're playing the second ball right here. The defense plays the ball, it pulls them out of position, and then we can punish. So I want you guys to do that, but more with a clear effort. And that first thing is going to be by never being parallel with your teammate and always having an off angle. So you want to be supporting behind him and more central. It's the right idea. You let the ball hit the wall and you're coming from a centered position. What could have been even better is instead of, let's see how much boost you have, Kefros. So you actually have 90 boost, you have more than enough. During this whole time, your pathing should be from here. As soon as that ball is hit, you should boost back, get space as quickly as you can between you and the ball so that you can turn around and face the field from a good angle. So this entire time we could be boosting, 10 boost, do a flip, we'd be back here. We would turn around and now we can see this ball and now we can see see how much of a better angle we have if we just use that boost early defensively to get into position. And now we can get a really easy clear, beat this guy, and probably have a breakaway. It's a good challenge. So this is perfect. And notice how this is what I talked about just earlier when we got the goal. It's playing that second ball. So it's perfectly fine to give up on this ball, grab boost. And notice how the defense can, if you allow them, they will give you the ball. And you round out your approach, you wait for a bounce hit, that's all really good. This spacing is a little bit, it's a little bit ambitious because you have to think about all the possibilities as you're pushing up. And it's all about calculating risk and reward. So right here, when this ball's played, there's a chance of Ivor pinching this and shooting it back behind y'all. And if that's the case, well then if he turns, he's going to beat you because he's going to be closer to that ball. So to fix this is you have to fix it when you're rotating out. So you made a good clear. You're in a perfect position right now, Keplos. But now we're getting a little bit too far in the middle. Instead, we want to stay on this right side, and now we can approach the ball. And if we don't like that ball, so like if we're approaching it from where I would be after that ball, from here, I would let this ball go up, go on the right side. I would wait to see what happens because I see that the defense has that ball. He would make that clear, and then I would put it back into play right here. And this is what I call like containing them. And because of your position, your containment's not as good. Your challenge goes right into the wall, and it's gonna be the black team's ball. So we lost possession just because we got too close too soon. We got too far close in the center, so that when that ball came across, we couldn't react. We got caught under it. If we just pushed out back more towards the outside, then when that ball is played, we can approach it going forward instead of being caught and having to go backwards into the wall. The second thing would be if you do find yourself out of position in this spot where we're getting caught and the ball is going over us, recognize how much time you have and that we don't need to rush this clear into the wall. If you really wanted to, you could boost away, get space in between you and the ball, let that ball come rolling or bouncing off the wall, and then we could hit it from here, going down the line. So you don't need to make this challenge right here because there's no threat on the ball. You're the closest one to it. You'll have to time to turn around and get a better clear. This is a really good read, really good challenge. Again, we're caught too close because, again, the only pass you can react to is the one that's right in front of you. But if he messes up, if he loses it, or if he has to pass it somewhat back at an angle, you're not going to be able to get it. So you're limiting your options. If we're back here, we just cover way more options. So if I was you, I'd be back here. And notice how when that ball's played, well, now I can react to it better from this position. Like, if it wasn't a pinch, I could approach it, and if it is a pinch, it goes over me, that's fine. I'm still covering the center of the goal, and I can get back and have a good clear. Our teammates are getting caught a little bit too close again. You want to give your teammates space. So right here, this is a good position, and this is an okay read, and it's fine that we got space in between us, but we just don't want to make that a habit of constantly being parallel to our teammates and like running into each other. We want to give each other room to work with. This is a much better position, Keplos, but we're still a little bit close. So you're more behind your teammate, but in this situation, as soon as this happens, I would create space, come back here and sit right around back here. That way, I can react to more options. If he misses the ball like that, well, now I can react to that. And that's actually a really good pass from that position. And it's a difference of 10 feet, but that 10 feet is what is going to make or break an angle for a shot. Let's see. So, Kafaros, it's more beneficial for you to go straight back into the center and get angle on the inside as quick as you can as your teammates dealing with the ball. That way we can cover more options. Because when you go down the corner, well, now look at the angles that we gave this guy. We're giving him a lot more room to work with, and it makes our blocks a lot less efficient. Our blocks are going to go into the side. If we're on the inside facing them, then we can pick and choose where we want to clear it. And we got in the way of our teammate because we got in the corner with him. Really good challenge though, you came from the center. My biggest tip right here is just realizing when you have time and space. So if you actually look from your angle, you can tell that no one's challenging it, so you don't need to make this hit yet. You can let that ball come down. You can stay on the wall and kept lost. You could have just let the ball hit the ground and gone for a hit and a big boomer over their net on target, whatever. And that was just because we're rushing both things. So first, Keplos rushed the one off the wall, and Kefros, you're rushing this clear that we don't need to do because no one's pressuring behind you. So it's just recognizing time. So again, that two things defensively, staying more central, at least one person always being more central, and recognizing when we have time so that we don't freak out. Again, Keplos, if you're in this position, check this out. Notice how now this is actually a perfect ball for you to go for, and you could probably get a shot. If you just fix your positioning from in the middle where you're limiting your options, well, now you have a lot more options. Even if this ball goes into the middle, you can still react to it from this position. But when the ball gets played behind your teammate, you're not able to react to it as properly because you're in the center. So this is normally a really bad situation because one teammate is on the ground, one teammate's on the wall, no one's covering the goal. So if he makes any decent pass away from the wall, it's an open net. So in order to counter that, grab this boost, that's fine, but stay on the baseline. And I would actually like to get inside the net because that way I could see if he goes for a pass, I can easily push out. If he goes for a shot, I can easily challenge and get the block. But this is going to be more consistent than being in this ball. The higher ranks are going to easily get this ball away from the wall, and they're going to punish you for not defending the net. Really good patience by Keplos. You're holding the inside angle and you're waiting for that ball to come to you, but we're still caught a little bit ahead. Notice how we're away from the wall. If we're just right here, notice how we can now let that ball hit the wall, come down, and get a clear going straight down the field, hitting it over magnificent. So just by a little bit more patience, holding the center a little bit more strongly, it's going to open up your vision so you can see when you have time and you don't have to rush these clears. Because notice how that clear didn't do anything for us. We're still under a lot of pressure. It was almost a pass to them, and it's just because we're rushing the clear because we're a little bit off-centered. If we're more centered behind the line, we can pick and choose which balls that we go for and making the clears more quality so that when we clear it, it doesn't go straight back to them. Again, Kefros, we're a little bit too close. Look at the angle. You have to go outside just to challenge it rather than being behind your teammate. Now that ball happens, and now I would still wait. I would wait for the second ball because now we have two people committing. I would let Magnificent hit it into the center, and then I would react to the center and get a free open shot instead of making that challenge. Because we want to make sure that when we go for a ball, it's doing something beneficial, and half the time it's still like the other team is still possessing the ball. That's a good attempt at controlling it. This is a little dangerous by our pathing cap loss. You went all the way. There's this common theme that when we're defending and we're rotating back, we're getting the corner boost. Those corner boosts are not meant to be grabbed when you're on defense. I would rather you look at the field and look for these lines. So there's one down the middle, there's one on the right side, there's one on the left side. Try and find these paths as you're rotating back so that you can be efficient by grabbing boost and getting into the center position as quick as you can. So Kefros, as soon as you land, I would look for corner boost. If it's not there, then I would actually go down this boost pad line all the way down here, and you end up with like 70 boost, and you end up behind your teammate. So that when that ball is played, we can wait for the second ball, whatever, and then we can react and get a play, clear it, trap it, whatever we need to do. Let's see. So this Kefros, you actually rotate behind. That's good. Keplos, you could have easily not flipped and churned down the center and just went down this middle line, because now you're in this position and now you can get a really easy clear. And that's just pathing. You took too long. You went on the outside, and now we're in a really dangerous situation. That should have been a goal scored against you guys. Not a bad pass. Let's try. Perfect. Kefros, perfect. You're the last man back. You're getting pressured on the sideline. You come to the center, and then you turn around. That's really good. We mess up the clear, a little bit rushed. Nice pinch. Nice shot. So what I like about this is that you took your time, you let the ball hit the wall, and you let the ball come down before you took your shot. This is a really nice play. This is recognizing time and making the most out of it. So this is really good. But again, we want to do that more consistently. Recognizing when we have time and making the shots as easy as possible. This is not Kefros's ball. Look at your angle. It doesn't really benefit your team at all. Even if you were to hit that ball, it's going to come over the wall and just give the ball to the defense. We have to recognize and look at what we see. So right now, the ball's cleared. We have all day in the world. Let's see if Kefros had ball came on. So before the ball's hit, you're turning your ball cam off, and you want to turn it back on a little bit quicker. And then your teammate should not go for this ball because it's just a bad angle. We have so much time to deal with this. If you really wanted to, we can, Kefros, you can call him off the ball. He can grab boost, whatever. But then you can come back from over here, let the ball bounce, hit the wall, and then you can approach it from this angle and get a shot or a good pass off the wall. So you're rushing your decision a little bit when you don't need to. You could have been here, Kefros, let this ball come up, and then you could have got the hit, and you could have called off your teammate. Because now we're in a pretty awkward situation where we're both running back and having to cover. Good job covering the center, though. So defensively, you guys are covering the center, like whenever we have time and space. But then we're just messing it up a little bit. Like, you cover the center, but we're not getting behind the line, and then we're getting a little bit away from the goal, and that difference of getting from being in this position makes or break this save. So that was just because instead of turning into the net, you turned outside the net, and that difference is what that's the difference between that goal scored against you guys or not.
Yo.
Yo, what's up? I'm busy right now.
Oh, okay.
Alright. Let me go back to this, sorry. See what happened on kickoff. That decision to go for that boost probably cost you this challenge. Because notice that right here, you're the closest one to it, right? You go for the boost, now you're not the closest one to it. Because now he has the inside look. And now the balls that you have are very bad because they're going back into the middle, which is something that we don't want to do because it's going to give them the shot. So that decision to always prioritize the center position over boost, even if on kickoff. On kickoff you have like what, 36 boost. If you grab a boost pass you have 40. So if you look, you have 45 boost there, and you're going to run over a boost pad. Stick with the ball, stay with it, be on the inside of it so that you can press this ball forward and make it awkward for him to challenge it. And we get punished. So like, always defend from the center going out rather than the outside coming back in. What I want, you guys have done this both times, the ball goes up the wall, you make a hit, like a hard hit down the sideline, and you commit to it. What I would rather you think about is you have a lot of time and position, so you don't have to go for this immediately. What I would do is go for a very soft touch off the wall, let it come down, and then challenge it from the ground as an aerial. So I would let it come all the way down, go on the wall, or get down on the floor and jump at it and go for the shot or the pass. It's a little bit more consistent. And we're committing less because now we're in the air and now we're out of position and we just gave him the ball instead of doing something a little bit with high quality. That's a good job calling it off. So Kefros, you do a good job of getting centered, calling him off, and going for this hit. That's nice. And now we're wasting it again. So what I want you to think about is when you hit this ball, we're creating a lot of pressure because this ball is going on. Oops, my camera. This ball is going onto their back wall, and they're both driving backwards. So all their clears are going to be shitty. So if they both commit and they hit it against the wall, great. If you just hold your position right here, they're going to hit it right back to you, and we can get an open net shot. So I would be here instead, and then I would come for this ball from a much better angle, and then Kapelos doesn't have to go for this, and he can be waiting in the center for a pass. Or Kapelos should be here, Kapelos should be right back here. Like this. This is the position I would rather you guys have. That's a good bump. Very good. That's not bad. So right here, Kefros, recognize that black is just closer to the ball, so we don't need to make a challenge. It's fine to make a fake challenge and what I call forcing a mistake. But forcing a mistake, all it takes is boosting towards him and turning away instead of boosting towards him and jumping, because now we're out of the play. We want to stay in the play, but we want to force him to make a mistake. So if I was you, I would do the same thing, but I would not jump, and I would be able to stay in this area as my teammate comes up. So the difference would be I would not jump for it, and I would turn. I would be back here so that I could be in this position, and I wouldn't get in the way of the play. Better position, but Kefros, we're getting too close, too centered. If you just put on the brakes right here, now you can go for it, and now you have a shot. So if you just held your brakes for a half second longer, you would have had a much better shot, and that's my point. This covers way more angles. So from back here, you're here, and now you have the shot. Great patience, almost had the challenge, a little bit of a misplay. Pathing, pathing, pathing. You're last man back. It doesn't matter if you have boost or not, we have to come back, grab 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3. Double flip, whatever, get full speed, get back in the center and turn around. This is just wasting time, and it's making us have a very awkward save. Nice save though. Luckily you didn't get punished for it. And at higher ranks, what's going to happen is this is going to be a goal against you guys every single time, because if Bohr was quicker to it, he should have the first angle and he should be getting a really good challenge on this ball. They took too long, they got too greedy, and you were able to save your positioning. But it would have been way more consistent if we would have been in the middle quickly to turn around and hit the ball directly going forward. Okay, this is a huge one. Kefros, we're a little bit out of position. I would still be back here again, but in your position, especially, when this ball is played, you do not have a good angle on it. 17 seconds left. They have 3/4 of the field to go. Give up on it. Let them have that ball. Be in the center, and then get this ball. So waiting for the second ball will often lead you to have a much better angle to get it clear. But now we're both caught and we're not in position, and it's a very dangerous situation. Low miscommunication. Wow, you guys are just barely getting by. Good hit. So I would not even attempt to go for this Kefros, because if you accidentally hit it, you're gonna either hit it off your wall for your own pass or into the net. Let this ball go into the corner. It's not a non-threatening ball. We have time, and Kapelos can get it much easier from his angle. Just spend your time getting off the wall and getting behind him as quick as you can. Again, we're getting caught off the wall and it's going to ruin our angle. If we stay back here, notice how we can make a much easier save going forward and out rather than going from just here is going to mess up our angle to go for this block. And we're going to get that weak clear. That is perfect. So if you look at Keplos, what he did, fake challenge, and he's like, okay, I don't have it, and he gets out of the space and lets his teammate get it. That's good. Kef Ross, you need to recognize that you have more time. And we can let this ball come all the way down and just get a much easier hit off the ground, off the ground that hits above the goal, and then follow an easy follow up. Good cover. Nice shot. Okay, so the main thing that's obvious that we can fix is as we're pushing up and out, the second teammate, let's always, so if the ball's on the right side, let's cheat over to the side that's on, and let's get behind our teammate. So if your teammate's going up on the right side, cheat over behind him and in the middle. If he's on the left side, cheat over behind him and in the center. Never be parallel, never be right in the center. We want to cover behind him way more often. And the second thing is defensively, if you're the second man, always cover the center first and behind the line, because it's going to give you angles to go forward and make much better clears than getting stuck facing sideways and having to side roll into it or hit it into your own corner. You can hit it up and out. So that's going to be like the main two things. Offensively, let's find spaces that are more behind our teammates to cover his failure if he misses the ball or if he loses it. Defensively, let's cover more centered behind the line so that we can get better clears. And the last thing is recognizing when we have time. Half the time we're doing it and half the time we're not, and we're rushing a lot of things, especially when like one of you guys is centered and the ball is going across the field, and then I see one person just go for a really bad angle. When you have the time, let it hit the wall, round it out, and then go for the ball because you're going towards the goal instead.